risk actually cost his own life due to that flank. So, like, a few misplays there, but overall, a good execute by Sinister. They're going to try open again. Well,
Creation having, in that last round, staggeringly poor awareness of where his opponents were. This is one thing I really want to take away, because he had a potential to win that round. It was a nice try, to be certain, and as you said, going back to open area, I really question this decision. I'm not really behind going to open area twice in a row, considering how directly they were countered the first attempt.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're going to put a little more effort into stopping this wall getting open, for example, just putting 4 bandit batteries on it, because there's not like a thatch or anything on the other side to be able to clear those.
This is a twitch, but it's not
true.
It's not an ideal operator to take out batteries.
It's a long angle to sneak around there.
Yeah, it definitely is. So you're going to have to come around that corner and pretty immediately hit one of the bandit batteries. But
the upside, though, is if he puts all 4 on, there's nothing left to trick with.
Right. So we'll see if he decides to trick, or if he decides to go for that just immediate 4 place. Same exact bulletproof camera being placed upstairs to give some information.
I mean, I don't think that was terrible last time, but I don't think it also really did a whole lot, because they didn't really attack so much from there. A lot of the attack was, where you see here, concentrated through tellers from lobby. Yellow pretty much repeating what he did last time. Billboard going to drone him in, make sure he's clear for this roach, and take control of that, because that does offer the ability to start to get in. Let's see if this time they try and clear out more of the top floor. Last time they weren't so focused on that, but it didn't seem to matter too much. They were able to manage to take most of the site regardless, as long as Chapstick's able to get that kitchen wall open yet again.
And I'm sure he will be, unless Nomad's Bandit has something to say about it. That's, of course, going to be Glitch. And Cookies trying to address the roamers that are playing upstairs. We saw this from Nomads last time, and it was not very successful.
So the reason why I'm recording this is because
yet again,
they
banned
Mira.
I mean, it's
they didn't ban Mira
Lion, to try and roam
but they
that top
did
floor,
ban
so
Glaz and Monty.
But considering Sinister just pushed them back last time, didn't necessarily get those kills, I can't argue with the decision-making process with Nomads.
Yeah, I mean, it's the case where they just have to execute on those
decisions. And I tried recording the first round,
but so far, only one death just now by Talon. That is the smoke that is meaning a lot less time to be burned off. Nice goo mine coming up, that is going to give away some positional information. Doesn't get caught, but it looks like they are more concerned with taking the top floor this time. Yellow actually taking a different approach, possibly going to try and take through the door. That's going to give away his position a little bit, shooting that camera. And they're going to have to start to collapse here within the next 30 seconds or so. But Chapstick does finally get that. As I say that, you were mentioning earlier about Glitch, bandit tricking, and that is a success. I imagine Chapstick's got 1 more left, but he's got to make it count.
He's doing about a half-and-half bandit trick. Such a large wall. He's got 2 pre-placed and now 4 pre-placed, as he seems to have given up on the actual tricking and has just decided to leave the batteries down. Yellow, very nice shot there onto Sour. Slowly peeking in through the doorway, just looking for any fight that he can give it.
I don't think he's in this
instead of opening
competition
up
at all,
the
because
kitchen
he's
wall,
part of
just
the
decide to
EU.
open up one of the drop-downs. And Thomas is going to take out Yellow as he pushes into the site, so no more for the Ash. But Cookies takes on Excretion, and a very nice shot indeed through the drop-down. Glitch, though, good positioning onto Talon. And Chapstick will take out Thomas as he pushes into open area. The final defender is Glitch, and he will be very, very thoroughly blinded by the Candelas. But it doesn't look like Sinister actually knows where he is. And he might be able to see the defuse planter on so little time, he might be able to win the round just off that. And yes, indeed, the down and then the drop followed by the TK from Billboard onto Cookies. Absolute chaos for Sinister. And Nomads take their first round. Glitch the easy MVP of that round. First bandit tricking and then getting hit by at least 2 Candelas and somehow turning it around. What was that plant spot? That was the biggest mistake of all. Compounded by the team kill. Just a terrible, terrible finish by Sinister that round. Yeah, they were planting exposed to small office, and
this is just Challenger.
Small office.
Well, we threw some Candelas in there. No one can hide under the desk or anything. We're fine. A misplay, I imagine they won't make again, but it is only 1-1. They managed to win the first round fairly effectively, but at least Nomads was able to somewhat prove the effectiveness of their open area defense, despite the fact that it was more due to mistakes by Sinister. But well played by Glitch. Nicely done dropping at the last second, so they couldn't win off of kills.
Definitely the MVP for that round. Now, they are going to defend the basement as their secondary, so we're not going to see anything crazy happen here. I mean, open area is, I think, widely considered to be the the least defendable sites on this map. CEO and Archives seeing a lot of play actually recently, and Open as well. You know, honestly, everything on Bank is I think more in the meta these days.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is still the best bomb site for the most part, depending on how well you can defend it.
I think
it really does kind of come down to the operators that are available sometimes to be able to pull that off. But there's so many useful ones for defending this site. You've got Pulse, you've got Smoke, you've got Echo, you've got Maestro. There's a lot of good operators, and you can only ban 2, so there's a good chance you'll get quite a few of them that are very effective in this. But some of it comes down to, like, some of the players are very, very good at holding stairs. You've got 2 important stairs, the ones you just saw Legion throwing his goo mines on, the Skylight stairs, and then the ones that the server stairs that we were mentioning, talking about earlier when we're talking about Alibi with Slash, how important those are to defend and how much utility can get dedicated to holding those. If you can hold those for a long time, it definitely pays off. Yellow just pushing and aggressive, doesn't realize he's down to Pulse. He's going to realize it now, seeing all that blood trail there, ain't going to be able to finish the job. And that is a Pulse who could have been very useful in stopping the plant later, now being punished for his aggression.
So yeah, just a heads up for future reference, when you bring a Pulse on Basement, basically what you want to do with him is stick him in the vault, and he can then, you know, heartbeat detect into the server and call out when that default plant happens. He also has a C4, so you can deny the plant indirectly, which is great. So it's a really useful piece of utility. As you said, it's now gone because he, for some reason, was inside of server.
Well, the upside is they still have an Echo drone. You have the Echo playing in vault instead. He's going to set that Yokai drone up on the roof. I imagine at some point that's going to give the same visibility in some ways as a Pulse. So assuming they don't catch it, they can still get the same basic effect.
Yep, and it's definitely not a full loss here for Sinister, though. The Yokai drone as well is going to deny that diffuse plant. So good job to Nomads. Sinister going to be slowed up despite getting that Pulse kill.
Now they're just at this point having to try and bait it out and try and take out that Yokai drone, but there's still Smokes to be part of this as well. C4 unfortunately misses, so that is definitely not going to be as effective. And the Pulse dying as well also meant one less C4, but Chap gets down in the meantime. That is going to put him at low health, which means Smoke is much more likely to be able to finish off a kill. Thomas hoping to get a lucky impact nade there, not working out, but a lot of utility left to stop us out, and only a minute left for Sinister.
That's plenty of time to get this default plant, and you can see that Nomad's got a lot more aggressive. Extraction just looking for a fight. He will enter into one. Very many lit players here on Sinister GG. They're not in the best position to get this executed as more of those smokes start to come down. Gotta imagine Glitch is low on smokes at this point, possibly only one left. Candelas are starting to roll down, and you can see they're being thrown behind the site and into the site itself. Bilbo will take out Expression. Glitch gets a gas canister's kill, 2 for Thomas as he peeks wide into the doorway, and Sinister will be backing away from that, bruised and bloodied. Still Yokai drone in play, and Billboard unable to spot it, but Talon is able to actually find it eventually, which means we might actually see a diffuse plan, but it's a default spot. Thomas gets another kill. He's going for the 4. He will get the 4. And Nomads take another round.
I mean,
a lot of great plays from Thomas there. I mean, definitely just keeping the pressure on from that doorway. Every time they thought they had control, they lost it due to his popping out because they had to be so concerned about Red Hallway. And some of that again is due to the operator bans and the way those worked out.
Rogue 9,
definitely not in their favor.
they're really helpful for this community. Honestly, a lot of people probably pretty trash.
And they're trying to capitalize on that with the Candelas, but it's just not really paying off in the end.
They're really helpful. Teach you stuff.
CEO office will be the next site, so we're going all over the place here from Nomads, and they might even make it to every single site they defend Archives.
Hopefully, yeah, Hopefully Teller's Archives is next, and we can see. That way we can compare and contrast what are their good bomb sites.
I'm not roasting them, I'm
to
just
see
saying
everything played. Yeah. Now, so far, Open Area was definitely not a good site for Nomads. They did manage to win the second attempt, but it was all thanks to the clutch from Glitch, basically. On that basement hold, they were nice and even, especially considering they lost their Pulse so early on. That was a really nice defense. If they had had the Pulse, you gotta imagine Nomads would have had a relatively easy time of holding that out.
Yeah, just so much delayed utility, even with the Maestro being banned, they had pretty much everything else in their favor to deny. So definitely working out for them. We'll see though if Sinister can bring it back. They're only 1 point behind here. So far their attacks have been pretty stunted, despite the fact that they were mostly attacking a weak bomb site initially, which they were only able to win 1 of the 2 times. I feel like there's definitely some mistakes coming out from Sinister in terms of their attacks. We're seeing, I'd say, a little bit of sloppiness coming out from them to an extent. They're just not seeming to read into the way that Nomads are playing their defenses and capitalize on that. It seems like they're trying to play either the way they want to, the way they expect to,
and Nomads is kind of denying that to an extent. Sloppiness is definitely the right word, and they're not really adjusting very much. We'll see, though. I mean, this is the first map. The halfway point hasn't hit yet. A lot can change here, and as I said, it's only 1 point behind. But I'm definitely seeing some strength from Nomads, although not right there. What was he doing? And Yellow finds a second one onto Glitch. Those are two important operators that should have been in sight. Shut down early. They were in sight, apparently. Well, yeah, I mean, the long angles, though, that is what you don't want to give up. Nicely done. A great angle play. 2 doorways and 2 windows to get that kill. Well done to Yellow. Yeah. Denying the Mira window and also taking out the smoke to boot. You don't usually see an Ash on the rappel either. That was definitely an interesting choice. But there we go. Opening up to a nice surprise from Rainbow. But a refrag from Talon in a second for Talon.
Yeah, this seems like flat players. This doesn't
1
seem
versus 4, not a great spot for Sour. And he will be droned out, but not spotted actually by Bill, who's going to actually, hopefully, eventually spot the castle in that receptions. Either way, the diffuser has been planted, and now the fight has started. Billboard were doing some damage, but Chapstick ultimately the one to get the final kill. Sinister will take their second round. So nice even 2-2 here. Well, after we were just talking about Sinister being sloppy, a lot of credit to Yellow, though, for that round. Absolutely, because, I mean, had he not gotten those 2 kills in particular, that site would have been so much harder to take. It wasn't just that he got 2 kills, it was 2 important kills for taking the site, and he opened the site wide up by doing that, and they were just absolutely able to capitalize on what was left. Unfortunately, they're not going to go Teller's Archives for their last bomb site. They are, rather than do CEO again, they're just going to go straight for open. This seems like a questionable decision to be made. Yeah, so open area was really not Nomad's side. They defended it the first time.
You guys don't know who Unbeatable Banana 5
they
He's
almost
a great
got
friend,
destroyed, but
YouTuber,
Glitch managed to clutch it.
streamer.
So this is definitely a risk.
Yeah,
but
he lives down in South Carolina. He decided, you know what? I'm not going to evacuate.
Yeah, they're going to give it one more go.
I don't know if he's evacuating now. I hope he is.
Chapstick's going to read into that bandit tricky
some
this time.
people have already
Probably not
died
fall
down
for it
there.
the same way
So,
and get that open a lot sooner. Again, though, they don't have a whole lot to be able to stop those batteries. Not even the Twitch this time means they're going to have to find a different way. Perhaps there's some angles from above. I don't think they were imagining that Nomads would go to this open area defense again. If they had expected this, they would have brought a Thatcher. But it looks like they're more set up to attack maybe Archives. Yeah, I mean, it's a case where they couldn't have gone Lockers again. They could have gone CEO again. But Teller's Archives would have made more sense, I would say. But we could also go CEO. Yeah, I mean, CEO could have been a completely different story if they hadn't lost 2 players basically for free to Yellow repelling on the main door. Yeah, I can't imagine they were going to fall for that a second time. So it does seem like that might have been the better choice. But maybe they just felt like, we don't have a whole lot of confidence in this defense anymore. Well, open area, not exactly one to instill confidence either, but it's seemingly their most practiced as they seem to as they're going back to it. Sinister going to be putting emphasis on the top floor. They want to clear it out, get any roamers pushed downstairs, and they are doing the typical pushing through the front door as they did the last 2 times they attacked this open area. Well, they're going to have to make sure they get enough map control to make this work again, and Yellow not playing the same aggressive operator he had been before. It's going to take it a little bit differently, as again, probably expecting a different bomb site, but he's still going to be useful on the site because there are castle barricades he could potentially open, although that might be better for Cookies to do a little bit safer. Nice Legion mine there is going to at least notify them that he is playing towards those upstairs, but no one's actually going to push on that information, so that might end up not doing a whole lot for them as a team. We've seen a lot of Tomas just throwing out goo mines in situations where they just get shot right after, but it also has been useful for identifying specifically where Yellow has been a lot of the times. Interesting claim in the middle of the stairs. I guess it's just to give prompting. It will do just that.
I don't know why.
The control here for Sinister is well established. They also have the right tools for the job. Bringing the Habana means that they can open up all these drop downs, and anything that Nomads didn't want open is not going to be stopped anymore. Rainbow is playing mute, but does not have any jammers on the kitchen wall, and the Bandit's too far away. That's Glitch, a huge mistake from Nomads. Means that Sinister now has the avenue that they also wanted. Bill will also take out X, so good kill there for Bill. Looks like he was going to maybe shoot the canister, but decided he didn't want to give away his position just yet. So hopefully he's still going to get that open. Bill is finishing up with a second one. Fortunately, some missed shots from Chapstick there. But a double for Bill, and he's looking pretty good right now. The Mira window is still established, but they're not really helping with anything at this point since the Sinister GG have managed to open up behind them. And you can't really play them as a defender anymore. Interesting lack of information here that Chapstick has to watch the server stairs. Rainbow trying to push up main stairs will die to Yellow. Glitch gets Chapstick, but Billboard shuts him out. So 3-4 Bill, but Talon the final kill on Thomas. And Sinister take the last round of the first half, ending it 3-2 in their favor.
Well, again, so far that's going to give Sinister the edge. We were talking about it. They were a little bit sloppy in the beginning. They did manage to shore that up, I think, to an extent. Towards the end there, I think those were definitely better attacks, the last couple. Obviously, the one where Yellow got those 2 early kills was a bit of a game changer for that round. Either way, I think they executed on a fight, didn't throw away lives after that. And going into the halfway point here, advantage over to Sinister.
Definitely advantage over to Sinister. I mean, the rounds that we saw Nomads be able to win were, the basement defense, which was pretty one-sided, I gotta say, and very impressive that they managed to make it so, given that they did not have a pulse in play, who died too early in the round to Yellow. The open area defense that they won, though, was barely a win, and the fact that they're going back to open area for a third time in a row, huge blunder.
It does show me that while Nomads have some good strategies, they don't have enough of them. And I think that's the big problem. It's just lack of variability in terms of what they can do. Because it should have been a case where they can go, we're not working with these, let's go to plan B. They didn't seem to have a plan B. They just kept going back to plan A, which was, as you said, it only worked due to some mistakes being made by Sinister, and you cannot count on mistakes for your strategy to win.
Yeah, and that's it.
I believe this Nationals is just
they're gonna now be going over
people in the U.S. that want to try to go pro,
we get to that, though,
and this is their chance to
break, so we'll be back
be like, hey, I'm good, maybe you'll want to pick me up. Pretty sure that's what it is. Alright, well, I'll cut this out. It will just be a second for you guys, but be 2 minutes and 40 seconds for me.
So, bank is anyone's game, but this was Nomad's pick.
Yeah, they're only down 1 point, but it did look like Sinister had, I think, a little bit of a keen edge in terms of the extra, just the pure skill. They seem to be having a lot of situations where they were just purely out-fragging Nomads.
Well, they have the experience and pedigree to be at that point.
Exactly. But Nomads, on the other hand, have managed to take some rounds away, so this is not all over yet. In fact, far from it. Just 1 round away from this being a nice and even match right now. So Nomads will be going on to attack, and Sinister on the defense.
Fair and even has Lion
lockers of the basement as our first hold here for Sinister.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to try open area as their primary. They are going to
Clash. I forgot about
that
her.
Is our first.
Oh my god.
Clash actually played here, I believe, because the one time it was going to be picked in the first match, it was 6 picked off of.
I think it was multiple times it was 6 picked off of the first match. I was like, hey, we're going to play Clash. No, we're not. Turns out. But,
JK.
Good operator, definitely. Just not seeing any play earlier.
Well, we'll see if it factors in this round here. I think Billboard probably could do a good job on it, but remains to be seen. They are going to also bring a pulse down here for lockers. Hopefully Talon's not going to play that overly aggressively into the servers, because that's what Billboard could do. Billboard can play it very aggressively. He could go up and just block that sewer entrance even if he wants to, in terms of trying to stop them from creeping on in. Although obviously you don't want to stand too close, because you can become a good victim to melee if you don't quick switch fast enough to go for a kill. But it is definitely a case where, while Clash isn't meant for 1v1s, you can still pull them off if you have the right timing. Probably better than Monty.
You can see Cookies is contemplating spawn peeking from the back door there.
Don't do it.
Not exactly a solid strategy, but he was definitely thinking about it for a second. Now, looks like it's just going to be drone clear here for Nomads. They're going to want to open up the drops in the open area. But first they have to establish, hey, there's nobody here. Woo, we can push in easy peasy. And once they've done that, they open up the drops, and then you can apply a lot of pressure to the site. There's not really anything the defenders can do about this. A lot of teams, what they'll do is they'll try to roam heavy, above open area or in open area. But Sinister not taking that risk, because it is very much just that, a risk. I definitely agree with that calculation. 1 minute used here before Nomad starts opening up the drop downs. A huge thing that confuses me is Glitch is the first one in. He's the entry fragger as the Habana. Should there be any roamers, that right there means you just lost all the potential to open these drop downs.
That was definitely a lot of confidence in their droning, I would say, at that point. Maybe overconfidence. I think that was a mistake doing that first, but at least not punished.
Yeah.
The droning covered it to an extent, but people can move very quickly in this game. So just because you drone something doesn't mean it stays clear. They are going to pop their first Lion E1D to try and keep it clear while they start to take this map control and put pressure down into the servers from the sewers. This is where those Candelas will come into play.
Wait, I'm 31, my girlfriend is 19. People make comments all the time, but it's crazy. We're celebrating our
Cookies just has to stay alive, and he's even overhealed to make sure he'll do so.
What?
Here comes the rush, though, from Rainbow, and it will secure the kill.
We are celebrating our 10th
and X will take out Yellow thanks to a Claymore. So that's that rotation you were talking about by the main stairs back to open area. Clearly, there was the Claymore in a good position to deny that.
Think about.
You can see the pulse being played properly here by Talon, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter as the rest of Sinister is getting absolutely shredded. You see Chap is not in a great position as that smoke. He is going to be able to deny Sour planting the diffuser in the immediate, but Sour just needs to wait a little bit as the second gas canister pops out. That's one on top of another.
That was definitely a mistake. I mean, there was literally no reason to pop that.
Yeah, that was a mistake. There's the third one.
Get away with getting some of that plant down, but no, in the end, Chapstick wins that fight.
Chapstick taking out the initial planter, but he's out of gas canisters now, and he won't be able to deny the plant any longer. Thomas will take out Billboard from above, so that's those drops we talked about earlier coming into play. Oh, just over the head of the Pulse, and Thomas will get the final last kills as Chapstick gets 2 for himself. So Nomads do take the round, but it was a lot closer than it should have been.
Yeah, definitely a tough one. Well played by Chapstick on the smoke outside of the misplay of getting the first throw. He did at least get the second one in terms of, the third one to get that kill. But nonetheless, that got a little scrappy there towards the end. Definitely more so than I think Nomads would have liked. We'll see if they can play it a little smarter this time, though. Unfortunately, that yellow run into that Claymore really cost them.
Clash
that could have been a valuable flank. That is definitely not going to happen.
No.
So we'll see. I think the rounds where yellow goes off, it definitely goes a lot better for Sinister overall. And the rounds where he gets shut down early, he doesn't seem to go as well. It's not that it all revolves around him, but he just seems to be an important factor. Billboard gets
Clash turns into Mira, Mira turns into Clash. It always be like that.
As they try lockers a second time.
I think it makes sense they're going to go lockers a second time. They were unsuccessful, but it seemed like they were still putting up a fight. A big portion of that round was the efficiency that Nomads had with clearing out the drop downs and establishing that vertical control. If Sinister can put some pressure onto the drops and deny the just outright immediate control that Nomads had, then I think this is a winnable as a whole. And it looks like that's something they're keen on doing. As you can see, they're applying some utility to the very top floor, as well as that Archives Tellers area, which is a good position to use if you want to deny the drops being opened up.
Yeah, definitely Cookie setting up those castle barricades upstairs definitely means they want to play for some top floor control. Whether or not that will cost them a life or get them something is definitely up for debate. They are going with that open whole wall strategy we've seen some teams do. I think I remember Evil Geniuses being one of the teams doing that first. And it was somewhat effective. Talon going to be actually playing that aggressive pulse to an extent, but he's playing it in terms of trying to catch them when they're going to be in sewers, hopefully before they're up against his face. But it doesn't look like they want to push sewers just yet. Anyways, they could even be going for a
drop. Which, if you guys didn't know, I got gifted
people are making this push, and I don't think they have any intel to be able to spot this. No cameras out here. There's a line already going to stop them from potentially spotting it early by pushing up against them. This could be an interesting thing if it works.
Yeah, but it's completely collapsed upon so far. Cookies will take out Glitch, and
they'll pretty much start with the mock.
Harmlessly into nothingness. Sour
I'm not going to say all of them,
but not able to fight it. There's no one playing it for Sinister right now. He's got a good position, though. If he can get the thermite charge off, he might be able to do some extra damage off that red hallway, though it's unlikely that he'll be allowed to do it. You can see the chap smoke so close right now. Cookies gets a second kill onto Rainbow. He's just treading these attackers as they attempt to push through the garage. X will take out Yellow, so a good refrag, a very important one at that, but he's not able to do any more work immediately. Sour will finally shut down Cookies in the ace bomb site, so good job, nice shot. And now that crossfire is lessened from Sinister. What a push from Sour as well into Chap, and a third for Sour. The play from the Thermite here turning into the Fragmite, leaving Talon the final defender. He's got so much time he's got to work against here. The C4 will miss the Thermite inside of B, but the shots will land onto X. He hears Thomas drop right behind him, but unable to hit the twist as Thomas gets that final kill. Nomads will take another round.
Definitely, I don't know. I was going to say a good take, then I was going to say a bad take. It was a very mixed bag take. It was, again, they went to push with the Habana as their entry fragger into it. I mean, doesn't matter as much if you're not trying to get hatches anyways, but again, why? Why throw them in there with that operator? You might as well just put them on Ash at that point, but it might have been a late call in terms of deciding, you know what, let's just push in Garage. We see some opportunity here. They don't have anything to stop us. They're committing some utility to upstairs. Well, let's just go for a sweep down. But it just barely worked, and most of that was due to Sour's play. Sour really salvaged that round for them. They'd even burned both of their EE1Ds with still a minute 30 left, so they didn't have anything to stop rotations from the defenders themselves when they didn't even have as much map control yet. So Sour's plays very well done. Although, to be fair, I suppose that push in from the Habana could have worked out had the timing been better in terms of him just pushing right into the B site, but what a risky play, just barely paying off. We'll see CEO now be the defensive secondary choice here.
I think a more typical secondary choice, though. I'm surprised, to be honest, that we haven't seen Teller's Archives yet from either team. That's just completely going into the back corner. Sinister are setting up a very default hole here. They have not brought a castle, which means there's a little bit less defensive validity.
Played mid one.
You're not going to be able to deny as many angles. You know, usually you'd see that castle brought to maybe be put on the windows that face towards the main lobby, or maybe on the meeting hall doorway to allow your Mira player to be a little bit safer, but it's just not going to happen here. Instead, they're actually going to play pretty openly on this top floor, so you can see having even the echo in the garage, the elevator, for example. Yeah. And this is a dangerous position because it means that you only have the one rotation, which is that open drop down, and that can be cut off relatively easily by the attackers.
It's interesting, they're playing a 3 ACOG strategy, so with that openness, they're hoping that they're going to out-peak the attackers, that they're going to get those kills before the attackers get map control because of the long angles that they can control. But like you said, this is a dangerous game they're playing. This is going to depend on them landing their shots and being very effective, and also managing to keep a fair amount of map control so that there's no flanks coming out from Nomads. But Nomads, I imagine, are going to drone this to an extent and be able to catch those. I don't know, it's going to depend on Sinister's execution early in the round here to slow this down.
So the Excaros on the east-facing walls over by the open skylight. It's going to allow for a line of sight, but it also means that Sour is going to have a really difficult time if he wants to thermite these walls. I don't know how I feel about the use of the Habana here.
I guess the point is to stop any kind of impact tricking or something, but Sour do just fine again. He's definitely found his role. He is not playing a fragging operator, but he is absolutely fragging out with it. So good on him. He's even the diffuse carrier and still getting some of those early kills, which is a little bit risky, but seems to be paying off so far.
And managing to take down Yellow on that Rook. You still got to deal with those mirror windows, though, so the push is not viable just yet. Rainbow setting up seemingly to do just that, but he's going to have to deal with Echo in that elevator. EE1D will force these defenders to stand still before the Candelas offer a distraction over by the main stairs. And here comes the slow push. Sour seemingly has opened up the rest of that wall, and he's waiting for his opportunity to push. Talon from the elevator will get his first kill before being immediately refragged by X. So Sinister still in it, but Nomad's in the driver's seat right now as the second Excaros finally detonates. Billboard takes out X using a C4 from a range, and Rainbow just pushing into the site with relative ease. Candela's into Meeting Hall are going to offer him a little bit of cover, and the Candela right in front of him will blind his opponent, who is also just on the other side of that wall. But he doesn't need to push. He wants to, but he doesn't have to. He knows that he just needs to cover for that diffuse, which has been planted. Chap looking for a fight, but he's unable to find it. He's now the final defender as Sour gets a double kill, and he just walks by the Ying. He might actually work this to his advantage, though, if he just looks behind him. Nope, he's not going to do that. Rainbow will finish off Chap, as a little bit of a mistake there from the smoke. Potentially actually working to his favor, but not quite. And yet again, a round for Nomads.
Another good round for Sour, as I was talking about that initial kill from his, and then a double kill later, a 3K from the Thermite. That's the diffuse carrier. We were talking about them pushing in, for example, with Habana as their entry fragger. Maybe their hard breachers are the fraggers on the team.
Seems that way.
Yeah, and you were questioning whether or not Thermite was going to be able to get away with opening up that wall. He certainly did as well, so yeah. Interesting. I like the way they were all laying down also in CEO. You saw an opportunity for the smoke to get both of them had they not been laying down, one behind the desk, one behind the wall, because he opened up the wall but couldn't see either of them. So smart play. The Candela's coming out, like you said, didn't necessarily have to be pushed because it was more to kind of delay for the diffuse plant. So good execution once they got control of CEO office, which those early Habanas, I guess, it helped establish that, not to mention the early frag from Sour as well. We'll see if they can fare as well on lockers again. They're going to go for that.
So, not a single victory on defense so far for Sinister. Seems to be the place that they struggle the most. They ended the first half victorious, 3-2 in their favor, but they have just not been able to make anything work for them here in this second half.
I guess that's what happens when your Thermite's just going on slaying everybody.
Yeah, Sour has really been standing up for a Nomads and, well, making his team win this match. Now, they're one round away from doing just that.
Well, we'll see if the adjustments here downstairs will work out. Like you said, they have yet to win any of these. They're not going to try and bring the clash this time on this defense. That didn't seem to do a whole lot for Billboard last time. But that attack was pretty back and forth.
See, the difficult thing about Clash is, well, she's really, really useful. And definitely a good operator. If your team is unable to get kills, if they're getting torn apart,
what is the 6-pick phase? Oh boy.
If you're left in a situation like a 2 versus
it's when
4, 2 versus 5,
both teams pick all their characters, and then all their characters go revealed, and then one person can decide if they want to change their character. But they don't have to.
Yeah, it's just great.
There's just a way to pull that in. Because you're going to know all the characters anyway. Once you play long enough, you know what all their sounds are and what they can possibly play, so it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Unless you're playing somebody like Thermite on a map that doesn't have any important walls to Thermite.
And sometimes it's just not going to happen. Drop downs opened up within a minute here for Nomads. So about the same as what we've seen from them in the past when clearing into that open area, trying to get pressure onto the basement. No resistance being put up by Sinister.
Yeah, they're not going for garage push this time, which is good, because that was a little bit hairy. Not their best.
You're playing Mira and there's only one good site with Mira, then they know what site you are. And the attackers can switch to a better person like Habana to take you out or whatever, Sledge.
Talon is playing that gold ball you were talking about earlier, is the Pulse as well. So they should have the timing on their side here. They don't have an Echo that we saw, for example, from Nomads on that defense to also help with that. But either way, they have the utility to make this work if they can get the right intel from Talon.
He's definitely calling out that this is going to be a server push as the dropdowns have been opened up. That much is apparent for Sinister. Here come the Candelas to try and distract. They're actually just being used to bait things out. What a shot from Rainbow through the bars onto Cookies. EE1Ds and Candelos after the C4 miss, and the smokes are going to be too little too late. Nomads will get that defused plant with relative ease. And does not look like Sinister are going to be in a good position to retake this. They're going to start moving their way up the main stairs. They know they have to retake the drop-downs if they want to then later take the actual site. But Thomas is watching that easy double kill through the melee hole. 2 of those Sinister players go down, and a third from X on the drop-down, leaving just Talon, and he is absolutely wiped off the table. A one-sided round, if I've ever seen one, from Nomads, and they will win map number 1, 6-3.
Good half indeed. They just destroyed on those attack runs. They didn't even get to go to a 5th one. Just excellent play all around on their attacks, and Sinister just seeming bamboozled in terms of that last attack, just getting caught off guard left and right by Rainbow and Thomas as well. Just
that's bamboozled. That was a pretty dominant round for Nomads, and I think a lot of it stems from how effectively they pace themselves when it comes to the plant and the counter plant, the C4, the gas canister, all the other potential pieces of utility that the defenders are going to try and use in order to deny your plant were just danced around.
I gotta wonder about Talon playing in that gold vault, though. You saw him, for example, one time slip off his job to shoot a drone that was behind him in the vault, and that was a situation where Thermite was actually in position and got pushed off. He didn't catch it. And again, you saw him not get those smokes out at the right time from Chapstick, and it's a question of, was it Chapstick slipping on the smoke, or was it Talon slipping on the pulse callouts, because we couldn't see either one of those, because they had the possibility of denying those plants. Sour always seemed to just be out of range of it, or denying it, or faking it out at the right time, and the Pulse, his sole job is to make sure that doesn't happen. Didn't seem to be the case. So either way, I mean, like I said, I don't want to necessarily put blame on one specific person, but it certainly looked like the coordination between those 2 players was not there that round.
Well, that's Bank, and map number 2, of course, will be Border. So we saw Border played earlier today when we had Apache versus Obey, and that was a very close map going all the way to 6-4. Of course, these are 2 very different teams, and I think they are very close in how they would typically play out. We did just see very nearly all 10 rounds for Bank, but only going to the 9. I think the second half it was really just the biggest thing. Sinister did not know how to defend on that site, or on that map, on any of the sites that they went to. They only went to basement and top floor, basement 3 times, top floor once, but struggle every single round.
Yeah, it was a case where I almost felt like maybe they should just try open area at this point, because all the default stuff is just not working. I mean, to be fair, that was Nomad's map pick. And I do wonder if attack is their dominant side, because they don't get to pick a side if they pick the map. So it could have been they just didn't start off as strong as they would have, had they started attack either way. Sinister, it makes me wonder why they let that map through with how they played it.
Yeah, it definitely was not great, but Border, of course, being their map pick, might change things up, might give them the advantage. We theorized at the beginning of this, we're probably going to see that bat number 3.
Which is exactly what we want, right? Which is why Nomads will just somehow destroy on Border.
Yeah, maybe coming off of the momentum that they gathered from the second half of that first map, they're just going to be like, hey, we're feeling good. We're in a position where we can get the frags, we can execute the strats, and we're going to make this Border work in our favor. I mean, Border is one of those maps that is not necessarily edged towards any team ever.
Yeah.
There are teams that are better than everybody else at Border. That's as there is with any map. However, it's so practiced across the board everywhere that it's hard for that to really exist. Now, we'll be loading into Border, and we'll have Sinister starting on attack team, Nomads on defense.
So, what I'm hoping to see here from Sinister is less reliance on yellow. From Nomads, we're seeing quite a few good players showing up, especially I want to highlight Sour.
Doesn't APAC have a 14
There goes Maverick. So he wasn't played at all last map, but still definitely not going to be played this map. But the reliance on yellow, and I don't mean like they were literally relying on him, but the fact that he was really the only one making huge impact plays for Sinister.
Yellow on attack was disgusting.
Yeah.
He was just tearing through people, and very impressive, yes.
And it's just the case where I needed to see that from the rest of Sinister. And we're not seeing that on attack or defense that last map. So if they can show up, more of them can show up this map, and maybe less Nomads can show up, this could be Sinister's map finally. But they are going to go for that Lion Band, no surprise there. I believe we didn't see a Mira. Yeah, we did see a Mira Band. No, we did on Border last time. What am I saying? The more typical.
Well, in the previous match, we saw a Mira Band.
Yeah.
Not in this one.
Yeah, I was just thinking it was the previous map that we just didn't see the last map. So, most likely to be the last band here to come out. And there it is.
Definitely good call there. Valkyrie also being banned on Border makes a lot of sense.
not stream video.
All of these bans make sense for the map and for the teams involved.
Like, comment, subscribe.
We will see Sinister be back where they are.
Motherfucker, I'm godly. Got an Asian bitch, she's your Bobby like a Harley. If you hate me, motherfucker, I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck, motherfucker, I'm sorry. Play a bitch like Atari. Fuck 12 hoes in the back of the lobby. Depressed as fuck, but I still get brains like a zombie. More ass than a porta potty. I guess I gotta rap about some marijuana. That's the only thing I know is fucking smoking, making